Hello and welcome to another Football Manager 2022 experiment where I will be simulating Eddie Howe's career as Newcastle United boss following a similar experiment I did with Xavi at Barcelona. But before we go any further, if I could ask you to please subscribe down below with that notification bell on too, so you're not to miss out on more like this in future, as well as a Leicester City playthrough I've got going on right now, further playthroughs to come, further experiments and challenges too, as well as tactics and tip videos. But here we are in November 2021. Eddie Howe has obviously taken over a very, very rich Newcastle United in real life, and we're going to simulate his career to see how he does. Obviously it'll have no bearing on how it goes in real life, but it's just a little bit of fun. Currently in real life, Newcastle sits in the relegation zone, having not won a game. Slightly better in Football Manager, however, sitting second on 14 points. I tried to get them in the relegation zone. It wasn't happening for every time I started the save. I guess it's as close as it's going to get, unfortunately. We'll try and make it as realistic as possible, however. But with 200 million to spend, you'd like to think they'll maybe kick on from there, but they've got a lot of work to do in real life. So let's waste no more time and jump forward to the end of the 2021-22 season and see how Eddie Howe has done as Newcastle gaffer, not only in the league but in cup competitions too. It's been a long time since Newcastle United have won anything of note, unfortunately. The good news is, at the end of the season, Eddie Howe is still in charge at Newcastle United. That's always a bonus. Didn't quite go so well for Xavi. Check that out after this video. It was very, very bad. I wonder how far up the table Eddie Howe's managed to take Newcastle, if at all. Up to 10th. That's not so bad. Decent. It'll take a lot of turning around at Newcastle United. Let's not beat around the bush. There is lots and lots of work to be done, but that looks okay by my books. 47 points across the course of the season. Pretty decent. Not so good in cup competitions. Knocked out both times by Tottenham Hotspur in the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup. That's very, very annoying. I've no doubt Harry Kane will have definitely scored plenty of goals against them, because he loves doing that in real life. Weirdly enough though, despite Newcastle's massive transfer budget, they did not spend a lot of money at all. Abdou Diallo was the only player they brought in January, towards the back end of January too. A decent enough player, a centre half. Yes, we do need them, but you'd have thought they would have spent a lot more. Very, very bizarre to see that Newcastle have not backed their new gaffer in this. However, you'd like to think they'll do a lot more than that in real life. But as you can see, it was a very, very topsy-turvy season for Newcastle. He started off pretty well, did Eddie Howe. Point against Tottenham, a couple wins, and then it seemed to get very, very... It was a bit like a roller coaster, as supporting Newcastle tends to be. A decent run towards the back end of the season, ending, however, with a 3-0 loss to Man United. That's always very, very sore for Newcastle United fans. Against Tottenham in the Cups, Eddie Howe did not score. That would be impossible. Dele Alli and Gabriel Barbosa, Gabigol, scoring. And what about in the Carabao Cup? My prediction was wrong. Ignore everything I say. I am useless. You probably know that by now if you've been around here long enough. And in the 2022-23 season, Newcastle United were a lot more busy in the transfer market. Anyway, they've brought in a fair amount of players. Andre Kramaric, formerly of Leicester. Yves Bissouma, 32 million quid for the Brighton man. Very, very interesting. Trevor Chalobah, as well as Pepe Reina. That's unusual. Surely as a backup goalkeeper you'd like to think. He played a bit more than I thought he would. How old is he now? He's been about the block. 40 years old and he's played 11 games in the Premier League. Fair play, Pepe. I'm surprised. Jesse Lingard also coming in. I've just gone back and checked, however, and Ismail Assar, Declan Rice and Manuel Akanji did also come in the door. Okay, that's serious business. Going out the door, some of the dead wood that I perhaps maybe expected to see more in the first season. You know, guys like Manquillo, Fernandez, Richie, Dummett, Hendrick, Fraser even, Hayden, Shelvey, Murphy, all gone, all cleared out. A new looking Newcastle United side, but they didn't perform to the heights you'd like them to, or you'd have thought they would have rather. Just 11th in the league. Worse than Howe's first season. And in fact, Eddie Howe is not even Newcastle United boss anymore. So In the previous experiment, Xavi got sacked. They hired Roberto Mancini with Barcelona. Now, Eddie Howe, no longer at the club, back at Bournemouth. They'll be hoping that it goes better in real life than it does in this experiment. Oh, I sure hope so too. He was sacked in 2022, so he didn't make it far into the season at all, going by my guesses. That's very interesting. And in fact, Eddie Howe did not even make it into 2023 as Newcastle boss. Oh dear, 29th of December, he was sacked after a year and 51 days in the job. Oh, with a 31% games won percentage. That is not good at all. I'm interested to see how Enrique does though. Poor in cup competitions too, with Newcastle United being knocked out by West Bromwich Albion in the Carabao Cup second round, which may have been a key factor in Howe's sacking. They finished 11th, a better points total than last season by 1 point, but also 1 place lower. Concerning, a quarter-final exit in the FA Cup to Sheffield United, not great either. And that man Declan Rice did also put in the best performances of the season in terms of average rating, 7.16 over the course of the season, 40 games, 5 goals, 11 assists. I think Newcastle United fans would be pretty happy if he came in the door. West Ham fans not so much, and also extremely unrealistic. But who says Football Manager was realistic? At the end of the 2022-23 season, Enrique did keep his job despite finishing 11th. I'm going to carry on one more season. Leave the Howe part behind as we did in the Barcelona experiment with Xavi and see how he does. Can he build on the foundations Howe put in place, perhaps you could say? There's a lot of work to be done at Newcastle United, and spending big money is not all that's needed to fix it. Goodness gracious me, it is not going well for Newcastle United. Luis Enrique, currently unemployed. Where's it all gone wrong for Newcastle United? Erik ten Hag, the man now in charge at Newcastle United, only been in charge for 139 days, joined on the 13th of January 2024. Enrique didn't even last a year. Let's have a look at why things went so bad, but first we'll look at the transfer business. They did sell captain Jamal Lascelles for just 1.5 million in the summer, bringing in Lewis Cook for 25 million, before going on to spend pretty big money, bringing in players like Jesse Lingard, made his move permanent, Kelechi Iheanacho from Leicester City, feel free to check out my Leicester save after this, Luke Mbete, Jeff Rennie-Alid, formerly of Arsenal, Juan Bernat and Christian Mosquera. Who is this fella? 19 years old, presumably a wonder kid perhaps you could say. He looks decent, but you'd expect more. Who have they put out the door? Any more dead wood that was there has now gone. Goodness me. Clark, Kraft, Almiron. Goodness me. Gillespie back to Aberdeen. Longstaff, dumb it out permanently. And him. A 15th place finish for Newcastle United in 2023-24. That's not great at all. A lesser points total, and obviously dropping further down the league back towards that relegation zone, which is a bit of a concern. Poor in the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup in terms of only reaching the 4th round, but of course knocked out by Liverpool and Manchester City. I'm going to have a look at the schedule, look at the fixtures, and see where it all went wrong for our Enrique. I was about to say for our Eddie. Goodness me, that spell will not have helped at all, certainly. Goodness me. It's very, very patchy in places. Perhaps improving for Ten Hag here. This spell of games doing him okay, but the back end of the season is very, very poor despite a 3-2 win against Tottenham Hotspur. Well, it's fair to say this experiment and simulation of Howe's career consider a failure, much like the Xavi one. Check that out also. If you've enjoyed this video, bit of a shambles once again, not quite as I expected, please do leave a like on the video. Comment down below the ways I can improve. I'm only getting back to these experiments and simulations now. It'll take a bit of time to get into, but I'm always looking for how to improve my videos. Comment down below how you think Eddie Howe will actually do in real life with Newcastle. Better than this, I think and hope, but also subscribe with notifications on so you're not to miss out on more like this in future. I also did a Newcastle United themed video where I took on Dr. Benji challenge to see if I could spend Newcastle's transfer budget better than he did. I won't give any spoilers, check that one out too. Thanks for coming along and take care.